welcome to our very first mindfulness meditation sessions, and we're actually hoping to make this as a short course for kind of 8 sessions, and if you get through all the 8 sessions, you will be fully enlightened. At least half. Let's hope. So just to give you a little background of these sessions, Venerable Tapasi, the chief incumbent of this Buddhist monastery, has been very kind and supportive of the communities around here, and he's been here for last 3 years, but the local community hardly know about the temple and the Venerable Tapasi. But a monk is always devoted to the life of others. So the Buddha attained enlightenment not just for himself, but for the benefit of all beings. And it is the prime motto of Buddhist teaching. Make yourself useful, beneficial to others. So the Buddha says, Jagadupakruti Reva Buddha Puja. The Buddha says the real respect and the homage offering that you could do to me is by helping others in whatever way you can. So, and I think all religious teachers, or even any great people in the world, everywhere, share that view of needing to help others. So, my name is Sunil Kariyakarawana. I have the longest surname in the world. I work for the British Armed Forces. I look after soldiers, sailors, airmen and women all around the world. We have about 4,000 to 5,000 Buddhist soldiers, sailors and airmen and women serving in the British Armed Forces. So every day I visit them in different locations, different countries, and help support them, not necessarily to make them more efficient in war, but peace. Because we always think the military is about war. It's also prevention of wars. It is because those people serve in the front lines that we are able to actually peacefully live in our surroundings. So therefore, last 12 years, I have been helping, supporting them develop spiritually, morally, etc. So mindfulness is a very important topic today. As you know, everywhere in the world today, people are talking about mindfulness, isn't it? So there are actually university professors of mindfulness, university departments of mindfulness, research programs of mindfulness. So all the corporate sector, government departments, a lot of people talk about mindfulness. Now this is a report presented to the British Parliament, Mindfulness UK, by 115 MPs, ministers, all party, on describing the usefulness of mindfulness, and especially they are recommending it for 4 key areas: health, education, workplace, criminal justice system, and so on. So mindfulness has been a subject of interest across the world today. So actually, it is not really trying to convert people into a religion. It is, not any sort of dogmatic teaching. It is a very pragmatic aspect of our lives. The reason being, now in the 21st century, when the technology, science is so advanced, we are pretty much well off in every aspect of our life. Our doctors take care of us pretty well, thanks to them. Body, the physical part of us. But the mental health is a major issue everywhere. Now, if you were following the news recently, the dementia has taken over from heart disease. So that is actually really worrying. That means even before we fail our heart, our mind can fail. So we used to think, we fail our minds very old, even if it happens. But in any case, the mind, we can lose our minds just as much as our hearts and other parts of our bodies. So therefore, mental health is a key and a priority in our health. So, in these sessions, what we are really what we would like to do is to give you some taste of Buddhist meditation. Mindfulness has been a practice for 2,500 years. Was mainly in Asia, but now in the Western world, there is almost every segment of our society talking about it. So I actually, on an average, speak to about thousands of people every week about mindfulness, and do a bit of practice as well. So scientific evidence today shows actually what it can do to improve not just our physical health but also mental health. So you may have heard the word neuroplasticity. Have you heard neuroplasticity? Yes. So neuroplasticity means actually basically our brain shows up the way we think, way we do, way we behave, everything. Whatever way we behave, it shows up in our brain. So if we keep worrying throughout the day, what is going to show up in our brain? Worry. Yes? So we produce over 50,000 thoughts a day. Yeah? 80% of which are actually negative thoughts. So if we keep producing those negative thoughts again and again, naturally our minds, our brains and our lives, going to end up in negativity, isn't it? Yeah? So therefore, that is why it's important for us to actually train our minds and shape our brains. And when you actually train our minds, we shape our brains as well. Not just the function of the brain, but also the structure of it. So, neuroscientists today have actually done a lot of research, and they have very sophisticated cameras to find out how the brain operates and what, a meditation brain, somebody who meditates, his brain, how it looks like. Yes? So, we're going to watch a little video first. Jay has been very kind in organizing these sessions with Venerable Tapasi, and a lot of time and effort has gone into organizing it, and he's a high-tech man, and we are so lucky to have you on board. So while he's actually loading this one, so basically if you actually go to YouTube and type in Science of Mindfulness, you will get hundreds, thousands of people, institutions, programs talking about mindfulness.
What we're talking about is called mindfulness meditation, and people who do it believe that it makes their brains healthier and fitter. Well, as it's practiced by someone known as the happiest man in the world, who are we to argue?
Well, our culture correspondent David Silter has been trying it out and seeing if there is real science behind the silence.
Just taking whatever time you need to settle.
Meet Michael Chaskelson, a man who's been teaching me to sit, close my eyes, be less stressed.
And if your mind wanders off dozens of times, that's fine. It's just what minds do.
It's called mindfulness meditation, a form of mind training that helps us worry less and live in the present moment. And it's claimed there's real science behind it.
We can be pretty certain, after 6 large-scale randomized control trials, that mindfulness training of the sort, very similar to the program we did, will more than halve the rate of relapse in cases of relapsing depression, for example. We know that it's effective in reducing stress, anxiety, and other similar mood disorders.
Wow, thanks so much. And if you want evidence, meet Matthew Ricard, a Buddhist monk who's been called the happiest man in the world.
I try to make so many disclaimers, no one believes me.
He is a little embarrassed. It was a phrase dreamt up for a newspaper headline, but there is some science behind it. When neuroscientists looked at his brain and activity in the area associated with positive thoughts, openness, compassion, happiness, the readings were off the scale.
There's an activation of some areas of the brain that has to do with positive affect that were activated in a way that was so far unreported in neuroscience in terms of the gamma waves, the gamma sort of oscillations. And so it was remarkable.
And he says just 8 weeks of meditation can make a difference. So I decided to give it a go alongside someone I've known for many years who has real stress to deal with. Fiona has the condition lupus, and each day is painful.
At the moment it hurts in my lower back, my neck, my left shoulder, right knee, both feet, and my hands are a bit sore.
Mindfulness teaches you to practice shifting attention, develop a little of what Matthew has when it comes to things such as anger.
It's quite many years that I haven't got really red in the face.
It's been years since you got really angry.
Possibly, well, once I was with Paul Ekman, one of the worst specialists on emotion, and he asked me, I said, I remember one case about 25 years ago.
25 years, 50,000 hours of meditation. We were hoping to see improvements with just 30 minutes a day and using a brain scanner to test the results. And those you'll see tomorrow. David Silter, BBC News.
It's 25 years since you got being angry. 25 minutes.
25 seconds, more like.
We'll find out if there's evidence to support the claims in those results that we get from David Silter tomorrow. Now, this is a time of year when many people are focused on looking after their bodies better, of course. Perhaps, though, the mind should also receive some more attention.
In a moment, we're speaking to Dr. Danny Penman, who's author of Mindfulness, a practical guide to finding peace in a frantic world, and also to our culture correspondent, David Silter. You remember yesterday, the first part of David's series on
mindfulness meditation, now part 2, in which he asks if mind over matter really can help improve pain and deal with anxiety and depression.
Sit, breathe, watch your thoughts. 8 weeks of daily practice of something called mindfulness meditation had come to an end. The object was to see if it reduced stress, or in Fiona's case, chronic pain caused by the condition lupus. So, had it?
All I know is that if I do a meditation practice and I'm in a lot of pain, it's not that the pain goes away, it's that it becomes more manageable and it's sort of put in its place, it can be dealt with.
I, though, wanted to look a little deeper, so we went to a neuroscientist.
Can you please keep your eyes closed and allow your mind to wander, okay?
Elena Antonova, the Institute of Psychiatry, wired us up in an MRI scanner. She asked us to let our minds wander normally, and then to meditate. The images are open to argument, but Elena says the results back up Fiona's experiences. On the left, you can see the area in the yellow circle, the response areas created by pain. On the right-hand side, they've calmed down.
So this sort of shows the, to my mind when I practice it, it's not that the pain goes, but I can almost take it down a few notches, and that's physically showing
It
that.
seems to be consistent with your
Oh, wow.
experience.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But what about me? When I meditated, an area at the front of my brain became less active, an area associated with self-centeredness, the ego.
The me bit has disappeared.
The me bit is definitely relaxed. Well, I probably wouldn't say completely disappeared because just remember we're looking at the comparative state.
So, did you see this pattern in anyone else?
But definitely the activity you have shifted to the posterior bit of the brain from the frontal lobe, and that's generally, the posterior activation I've seen in Franciscan nuns, for example, or Tibetan monks during meditation.
A Franciscan nun. I wasn't expecting that. But Fiona's findings were worth further investigation. We sent them to an independent pain researcher at another university who said something had calmed the pain network.
And when Fiona says she feels less pain or is less troubled by the pain, this is backed up.
That's right, yes, I would say so. This is quite clear from her images.
I knew what it was doing, and I use it all the time, and it helps me with my pain. But there is something very powerful about knowing there is physical, objective proof that it's working.
Scientifically, just 2 scans doesn't prove much, but it does reflect a wider, growing body of research that suggests mindfulness meditation can help stress, pain, and even self-centeredness. David Sillito, BBC News.
He's changed mind, you know.
He really is. Hello, David. Nice to see you back on the sofa. Dr. Danny Penman joins us as well. Hello.
Let it finish, yeah.
But David, you are a changed man since we've met.
I don't know whether I'm a changed man,
Yes,
but
you are.
I have definitely decided to carry on with this. I don't quite know what's going on, but at certain desperate moments over the last 6 months when I thought everything was falling apart, as it does in everyday life, I have these little tools that I'd never had before. And now suddenly I have a different relationship with my head, which I never thought. I'm in my 40s, and suddenly I realised that my head is just full of random thoughts, and that they come and they go, and as I thought, I just didn't know that before. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And then to actually be able to see your brain, an MRI scanner, and then realise that you're told this. What do I know? But the scientists said that's the area we believe is to do with self. You thinking about yourself all the time. That means, how am I doing? How does this relate to me? You've calmed it right down, and it feels great.
But Danny, can we all have the serenity of a Franciscan nun?
Yes, it's you just need to do 10 to 20 minutes per day of mindfulness meditation, and very quickly, within a matter of days, and certainly over weeks, your mind will become incredibly calm. You will be able to cope with the hustle and bustle of the daily world far more easily.
How do you do that? But I've tried meditating before, and perhaps I'm not doing it correctly.
But so many things pop in. If you try to have an empty mind, so many things pop into it you think need doing. And it feels like a bit of a waste of time sitting there when you could be putting another wash on, fixing supper, tidying the lounge, getting stuff sorted. And it's all those things that cram into your head.
But this is entirely normal. The mind is designed to think. So it's hardly surprising when you close your eyes that it chases off like a greyhound after a hare. So the important thing is to accept that your mind just behaves that way. And mindfulness meditation is really the acceptance of that and watching the way your mind behaves. And when you become aware of how your mind really works, it starts to calm down. You become less stressed and less anxious. It's quite an extraordinary process.
Did you take much convincing, Dave, when you started? Did you have a sort of journalist's cynicism?
I think I was totally phobic about beards, sandals, incense, and anything sort of to do with Eastern mysticism. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But when I was sitting down chatting to someone who said, well, we're working with the US Marines, and you go, oh, hang on a sec, this is a different ballpark altogether. And you talk to neuroscientists, they're interested in what's going on there. And I think there seems to be, as far as I understand it, you talk about putting the wash on, talk about sorting all these things out. My head's full of this all the time, but I'm not actually doing it. I'm sitting there worrying about it. But if you get used to, every now and again, just bring yourself back into actually what is happening, it's quite nice. It's quite a nice feeling out in the moment. Actually, it gives you a bigger chance, and it makes it easier to do all the stuff during the rest of the day. And that's really counterintuitive. And also pain, to concentrate on it and examine it, you think is the worst thing you could possibly do. You try to blot it out all the time.
Yes.
But it actually sort of says, no, look at it, feel it, what's really going on there? And you go, and strangely, it has an impact. And you think, that just doesn't make any sense.
Well, the fact that your friend Fiona with lupus has had such astonishing results from meditating, does it take a long time to learn to quieten your mind in that way? Both you and Fiona found it.
It takes, 10 to 20 minutes of mindfulness meditation today will have a very deep and meaningful effect. It's a dose-response relationship. In a way, the more you meditate, the longer or the more time each day that you will spend in that kind of calmer and more serene state of mind. But really, 10 minutes a day, if you start the day with 10 minutes of meditation, you will find your life is an awful lot easier.
Is it like fitness training?
Absolutely.
Just go on, you feel more benefits. Just think of it like that.
Okay. Because we both said we're going to do it.
Both can do it.
Great.
Maybe haven't got time.
You should try it.
I haven't got time at 4 o'clock in the morning. But at some point during the day. Yeah, good. All right.
We'll give it a go.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, is there anything that you'd like to ask about any of this?
Everyone minds are quiet.
Your mind is quiet.
So little as possible.
If you, demonstrate or something for us to start with, how do you just demonstrate the meditation start with?
Well, we're actually not going to just demonstrate, we're going to do it. So let's do it, yeah? The taste of the pudding is in its eating. So let's practice a little bit. Shall we? Yeah. So before we start, if you have any questions, and I think, it's good to clear, if you have anything that you heard about meditation, anybody who's done meditation before?
Hands up.
Little bit,
Okay, a little bit, yeah?
little bit with breathing in and breathing out.
Excellent, excellent. Anyone else? You done any meditation? Yes, you have. Excellent. So, when you hear the word meditation, there are many hundreds of different techniques and different, practices. But we got to understand mindfulness in particular. It's actually not the most important aspect of it is we are not putting anything in the mind like mantra, visualization, etc., etc. Because we have already enough stuff in the mind, so why put more, right? So basically, we're going to actually not switch off, and it's a wrong word to use. Switching, the key word in mindfulness is, there are, in mindfulness practices, they use 4 key words. Pay attention to this moment, present moment. Yeah? On purpose, non-judgmentally. Can you remember those? So pay attention. So you're actually paying attention. Why do we pay attention? Because our attention is very much scattered, isn't it? Now you could be physically here, but your mind could be actually thousands of miles away, right? So, and sometimes we are totally unaware of our mind is just, just actually gone off, drift off somewhere. So, and then bringing the attention here on purpose, not just actually coming back, by default, but just on purpose to this moment. Why this moment? Because that's all what we have, isn't it? The past moments, all the past moments are dead and gone. So if something is dead, what do? You bury it. So, what's the future? Is yet to come. You don't know if it will come or not, right? So what do you have? You have this moment, this present moment, right here, right now, right? Yeah, so it's very easy, but the habit pattern of the mind is always to drift away, go away into either the past or the future. So the power of now. Loads of people have talked about the power of now, being in the moment, right? So the whole practice is it's a training to bring the mind to this moment, yeah? Whatever you are doing. So, we may have all different experiences of how peaceful it is when the mind is right in that moment. When you do swim, you are afraid of, drowning. So therefore you would want to be in that, isn't it? So, we are painting, we are doing something intensively. Our attention is drawn to that naturally. But sometimes just if it is, if you're talking, even when I'm talking, your mind may be actually going into so many topics, so many things. Your mind may be commenting, asking questions, and loads of different things. So the mind is designed that way. So you don't need to worry about it. So the whole practice is about training the mind to come back. Come back. Just like training a little puppy. Yeah? So when you train a puppy, how do you do it? You say, sit. Puppy, sit. Is it going to sit? No. Not the first day. But you have to train the puppy. And one day you actually find the puppy sitting when you say sit. Right? So the same way we can actually train our minds. Yeah? The beautiful thing about the mind is we can train it. We can program it. as much as we program our other things, So this is the power of the mind. So when the mind is congested with a lot of thoughts, anxieties, worries, then the mind has less power to pay attention to whatever you're doing, right? But what if actually we train, to focus on one thing at a time, and you will ask me, what's wrong with multitasking? Nothing wrong with it if you can do it, but mind can pay attention to only one thing at a time. Yeah? So there are loads of myths about meditation. Meditation is about clearing the mind, this pink and fluffy stuff. You always see an advert. A beautiful lady sitting so relaxed. Like that. So you get the wrong ideas. What am I going to do to clear the mind? Do this, do that. No, actually what you do is you become aware of wherever you are, whatever you are doing, and make peace with it. Yes? So it's that simple. It's actually so simple. So most profound things, Wittgenstein said, lies underneath the simplest things. So the simplicity hides the complexity of things. So therefore, first thing is for us to understand and all the myths about meditation. It's not about clearing the mind. And if you think, oh, my mind, I would never be able to meditate. Some people think, oh, I can't do that. That's not really true. We all can train our minds. And the second myth is, you have to have a very quiet, calm, serene place this is beautiful to have a place like this. But do you need that for meditation? No, not necessarily so. Yeah. When you go to the gym, what if you didn't have those weights and other things? Can you build your muscles? No. So whatever noise, whatever obstacles, hindrances that you have will make your practice stronger. Right? So therefore we should never be put off by any noise, obstacles, anything like that. So you should actually welcome all of this. When you go in the train, plane, bus, anywhere, you could actually meditate. So meditation is not something that you do on a cushion and some corner in a room or whatever. So it is something that actually you do 24/7 all the time. When you practice, you gain some practice and understanding of it, and then it becomes part of you, not few minutes. But that few minutes of training is really useful, really necessary. Okay? Any other questions? Come on.
I'm still trying to think.
Yeah.
So I think I'll work you.
What does, sometimes when I try to meditate, I fall asleep, what does that mean?
Okay, that's a very good question. Because actually one of the things is when you close your eyes, the body gets a signal, oh, it's time to
shut down.
Yeah. So this is when you really need to make an effort to stay alert and awake. even when you, I think something to do would be not to totally close the eyes as if you, go to sleep, but gently or lower the gaze or sort of, gently shut so that you are not visually distracted, but not too tightly closed. So, naturally, the body response would be to, doze off, whatever. But, don't worry about it. If, you make effort, what's really important is you are making a genuine effort to stay awake and to focus on the object of meditation. Yeah? So, if people think, I can't do it, no, there is no, everybody, that is the most natural thing to do. Yeah? And there are actually many reasons why you should meditate. I actually go around the country, training people, actually asking this question, like, who are we? What are we? We all have two components of us. We have a physical body, we have a mind. Yes? So the physical body is what you actually see, but mind is much more than what you see. So in normal life we pay a lot of attention to our bodies, but less attention to our mind, isn't it? So in our own homes we have bedrooms, we have bathroom, we have living rooms, we have kitchen, we have all the facilities to cater mainly for the body. Where's the space for the mind? Yes, have you thought about it? No. But actually mind is even a bigger component. So mind has, this is actually in the Buddhist teaching, every person is divided into 5 aggregates, 5 bundles of things. And one thing is this form, physical form. Yeah? And that is the physical part. The mental part has 4 bundles. Feelings, our feelings, how we feel. So there are actually sometimes happy feelings, sad feelings, neutral feelings. Yes? And then we have perceptions. We perceive things. We kind of look at things and we perceive our perceptions of things. This is good. I like this. I love this. Blah blah blah. So our perceptions. And then mental formations, when you actually like things, you actually make a mental, like a memory in your deep, subconscious mind, and that is called a mental formation. In Buddhism, it's called sankhara or sanskara. Yeah, and consciousness is actually, there's no central place of consciousness. It's the eye, visual consciousness. When you're actually hearing things, it's auditory consciousness. And then nose, smelling, that consciousness. And when you're tasting, consciousness of what you're tasting. And the physical, the body, the tactile contact. Yeah? And the mind also thinking. So, you have the consciousness divided into these six sense faculties. Right? So we take all the stimuli from all these senses and actually create a lot of sankharas, the likes and dislikes. When things are there that you like, and then you are happy, and when you dislike, you are unhappy. Yes. So the mental formations, whatever you form, you actually accumulate them in your subconscious mind. Over time, these likes and dislikes keep bothering you, and sometimes it's being challenged. Why do you not like this, and then, you have to rethink or whatever. So, anyhow, so the mind component is much more than we think, So, the 5 aggregates. And what happens is lack of mindfulness. When do we lack our mindfulness? When actually our mind is clogged with thoughts. Thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. Our minds produce loads of thoughts, like a pasta factory, loads of thoughts. I said, 50,000 thoughts a day, more. And you can actually, have you ever listened to your mind? Yeah? And it says one thing one time, next thing something else. Like there are, when you're really listening to your mind, it's like 10, 20 people in there, some are saying this and some are saying that. Right? So loads of different voices. So you could actually call it, voices in your head. Yeah? There are loads of voices in the head. And sometimes we take these thoughts to be facts. Are thoughts facts? Good question, isn't it? So it's a really good question to ask. Are our thoughts facts? No, not necessarily. So, but we are actually driven by these thoughts, right? Almost 100% of our lives are driven by some thoughts. Something that I think I am right. Whatever. Yeah. So then our body-mind disconnect. And this is where we actually become kind of running autopilot. So we look at people, we don't see them. We listen to people, we don't hear them. We actually eat our food, we don't taste them. When was the last time you tasted your food? Because we have no time. Shakespeare said, what's this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. So we are in such a race. We are actually looking at the world through a window of a racing car. Things happening so quickly, so fast. Right? So meditation is actually just slowing it down a bit and living or experiencing life a bit closer. So you will be actually enjoying your life a bit better. Right? So now this is what I said about sense disconnect. And Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama, he was once asked by a Western journalist, what goes on in your mind? He said, man. In one word he said, man. Why man? What does the man do? Well, he actually sacrifices his health to make wealth. And what does he do next? He spends all his wealth to regain his lost health, isn't it? When you grow old, you have to go to the doctor and do all. So you're actually respending the accumulated wealth. I hope you have something to spend. So, and we are always thinking about the future. We are not enjoying life as it unfolds right here, right now. So, one day we die, sadly, without ever having lived. Yeah? People ask loads of questions about afterlife. What I say is, what about life before? And that's the quality of life before you die. Isn't that important? That's very important to all of us, isn't it? Yeah? So have a real quality to our lives. Okay? That's actually what mindfulness is. And this is actually what the distress is like. When you have painful emotions, painful thoughts, painful ideas, sensations, painful memories, your mind is kind of pushing them away. And then, we actually respond to these three different ways. Either we want to fight with them, or flight, take off, I would forget all of that. Or freeze, you don't know what to do, when you inject another dose of hormones, the neuroscientists actually found out our brain has evolved over time, like millions of years. In our 3 kilos that we are carrying everywhere, we have actually loads of layers. We have the old brain, the limbic system, where the stress hormones are produced. Right? So when we have a fear, like you have you seen those nature documentaries where the a gazelle is chased by a lioness or whatever, and then what does it do? Just manages to escape. He runs and manages to escape. And what happens next? The guy is next, turn around and eats the grass again, graze again. So, as if nothing happened. So the life was really at stake. One moment, the next moment, nothing happened. So what if something like that happens to us? Or even something less dramatic than that happens to us? We actually need few years of psychotherapy, isn't it? So any bad experience, even that you actually heard something negative in the office or whatever, it echoes in your mind all the time, isn't it? Somebody, you like, tells something about you, something negative, and it can actually affect you, isn't it? Yeah? And this is how the stress hormones actually are reacting. I mean, that's the way it is designed. So when you meditate, when you actually learn to make peace with yourself, you actually develop an ability to shift, the brain from the limbic system to the executive part of the brain. The insula, gets actually a little bit thicker, more active. The frontal lobe. So there are loads, a lot of scientific, neuroscientific evidence. Okay. Now, have I convinced you to do a bit of meditation? Okay. Any other questions? Anything else you would like to clear? Okay. No. Fantastic. So let's do a bit of meditation then, shall we? Okay. So what we actually do is we're going to are you ready to sit for 1.5 hours? Oh!
It's not that long.
See, I have been sitting like this, yeah? So I can actually sit the whole day like this. Yeah? So it's important to develop a good posture in meditation. If the posture is good, actually your practice is getting strong. So try to sit in a posture. I mean, if you want to sit on a chair, please feel free. Yeah, that's whichever If you want to lie down, you can. See, Jay has organized place for lying down meditation. So meditation can be done in any posture. It doesn't necessarily have to be sitting like this. So if you are sitting like this, try to keep your back and the neck upright, not too stiff, not too sloppy, sort of something actually relaxing, something comfortable. Yeah, you could actually keep your palms together if you wish, but not absolutely necessary. But so what we will do is we will actually do 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. Or have you? There are actually few people who've done meditation before. There are people who haven't done any meditation. That doesn't really matter. In meditation, there is no such thing as a seasoned person, trained person. So it's it all depends, how you take it at that point in time. So what I will do is, I'd like you to actually listen to this sound, from the beginning to the end of the sound, and after the end of the sound, just simply keep observing, keep actually, watching your mind, and what is it up to? Is it listening to things? Just watching. Okay, just few minutes. Are you ready? Okay, excellent. So just see if you could actually bring the attention to your body. just check how you're feeling actually from the head, shoulders, and the sitting posture. And if you need to make any adjustments, just please do so. I'd like you to listen to any sounds that you can hear now. Any ambient sounds, sounds outside. And let go of all those sounds. Just bring the attention back to your body. And just see if you could actually feel your breathing. You could feel your breathing at the point of the nostrils or at the tummy, wherever is easier for you. Just anchor your attention in one of these places and let go of all the thoughts, sounds, smells, etc. Relax the body as much as you can. As you're watching your breathing, you could actually refine your breathing. If you are watching at the point of the nostrils, just feel the incoming air coming in, touching the nostrils, inner skin of the nose, the cool air coming and touching these places, and outgoing breathing. Breathing cycle has about 8 different points. Every in-breath has the beginning, the middle, and the end. Every out-breath has the beginning, middle, and the end. And there are 2 spaces in between the beginning of the in-breath and the ending of the out-breath. If you can't notice all the 8 points, just simply try to be aware of each in-breath as it comes in, as as it goes out. Notice that your in-breath can be long, short, medium. So your out-breath can be the same or different. You may be breathing in with one nostril, both the nostrils. Whatever the shape or the form of it, just simply be aware and try to treat every in-breath like a guest visiting you. You can't afford to miss even one. If the mind drifts away, just acknowledge that my mind is gone, but gently bring the mind back. That is the nature of the mind. And notice when you are more relaxed, the breathing gets actually softer, milder, more gentle. Try to stay with whatever it is, with the breath. And now I would like you to bring the attention to the top of your head. See if you could actually feel your head, the crown of your head. Just linger around there to feel any sensation, any feeling. There are millions of sensations throughout our body in every second. When our minds are focused, we could actually feel even the softest, more gentle ones too. If you feel anything, just move your attention to the other parts of the skull, sweeping, surveying the head in your mind. If you feel any sensation anywhere on your head, just move down to your forehead. What do you feel? How do you feel in this moment in time in your forehead? Is it heavy, light, tingling, perspiration, heat, cold, whatever, many millions of sensations. And get a close and closer feel, moving your attention down to other parts of your face, eyes, eyebrows, cheeks, chin, ears. Just feel your face. If you can. If you feel any sensation, move the attention down to your neck, collarbones, shoulders, just bring your attention to your right shoulder, and right arm, the upper arm, the lower arm, hand, the palm, fingers, fingertips, so if you feel any sensation, move on to the left shoulder, feeling any sensation on the left arm, upper arm, lower arm, and the hand, fingers, fingertips. Do the same with the back, the upper back, lower back. And the front too, the chest, abdomen. Move your attention down to the sitting posture, pressing against the cushion. The legs, feet, okay, so I would like you to take 3 deep long breaths. As you breathe in, try to actually feel the entire body from the head to toes. Okay, so let's pause for a moment and let's actually talk about our experience.
I've got really bad pins and needles, so I was focusing a lot more on how my feet were feeling, I think, other than... So I was trying really hard to focus on what you were saying, but I got such bad pins and needles. Regularly I found it really difficult to just sit. I didn't want to disturb everyone, but I could feel I was constantly like this.
That is very normal. That's really normal. Because we are not actually used to be sitting like this, are we? So that's why. That's very normal. But what's really important is you have not wasted your time. You were aware of that. That's the important thing. When I actually started sitting first day, like about 30 years ago, I thought, what is this? This is not for me. Every time I just sort of open eyes, everybody is sitting like a statue, and why me? Why can't I just sort of sit like that? So it's actually a training. It's a training. But, everybody doesn't have to train the same way. It's actually making peace with just observing and being aware of it and simply making peace with it. And it's amazing what we can do. It's kind of expanding. We can see our mind expands. And it's beautiful, yes?
If you had intimated to us that you give the signal and you get the signal to relax.
Yes.
If you had intimated that initially.
Yeah. No, to relax, yeah. So basically...
It would have been, we are conscious about it also.
Yes. When you sit and meditate, so basically... idea is to, just be aware of that. Whatever happens outside, shouldn't worry. So, what this does is, we actually can reprogram our mind. And we develop more patience and more understanding. And it's just that actually because our minds have been reacting, it's just like, that's why, we don't like our pain. So pain is given, suffering is optional. Does that make any sense to you? So sometimes even with the pain, you actually not suffer. Then what happens? The pain goes away. It can't bother you anymore. Yeah? And why do we keep changing the posture? Because our mind suggests, we change the posture. What if we don't? Mind actually adjusts itself to it. And it actually, like that little puppy, just actually make peace with it. Have you seen some people in India sitting like this all day and they're doing business? That's how they have been trained. Not through meditation, of course. It's actually, that is how you do it, yeah? So, we are capable of training ourselves in whatever way we want. This is your life, right? So, the same thing applies when we go to react to external things, sometimes the slightest little thing can annoy you, So when you are driving, if somebody drives nasty in front of you, you get really upset. But if you really understand how, why the people do that, you're not being affected by that. You don't have to give your steering to the other person. So it's actually gaining control over yourself. It's the emotional intelligence is far more important now than the IQ. Did you know that? Yeah? Somebody called Daniel Goleman writes a book on emotional intelligence. EI. Yeah? So, how do we actually manage our emotions? This is real life stuff, isn't it? So somebody makes you upset, angry. What do you do when you get angry? We want to react, isn't it? Either negatively or in whatever way. But what we don't remember is to respond. We can respond but not react. You can respond to things but not react. What's the difference between response and reaction? Come on, you always talk. What's the difference between response and reaction? Reaction is always negative. Response not necessarily. You respond to things. Yeah? So you actually try to understand the situation a bit better. Yeah? So we can either understand or stand under. So this gives an opportunity for us to actually, is it necessary that we react the same way? So emotional intelligence, if you know how to manage your emotions, you could do any job. Your boss will be really happy. You're not affected by, things outside so much. So at least you have control over things, which is good, isn't it? So meditation gives you a lot of tools, really a lot of tools to deal with a lot of things in life. And it's a skill, It is a skill not to get upset. It's a skill to be happy, isn't it? It's a skill, You can choose to be happy. So, happiness, we in our life, what we all want is to be happy, isn't it? But we don't know how. So, does this make any sense, or am I just sort of babbling? So this is actually about our lives. I mean, everyday life, I sort of help sometimes people with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. Stress, fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with stress. Stress is actually a good thing. It's a motivator. Now, when you actually think of, all the good things you have achieved through stress, isn't it? All the exams you do, interviews that you go to, and blah, blah. So, it's like heat. When the heat is applied to an egg, the egg hardens. When the same heat is applied to the butter melts. So, nothing wrong with the heat, isn't it? Otherwise, it shouldn't be giving two different results. So, stress is okay. Life is full of stress, but if you know how to deal with it, how to cope with it. So, when you actually become kind of a bit more equipped with how to manage your, stress, then you're not I don't want any stress. You're not running away from it. You're not afraid of it. I mean, that's really, really important, isn't it? Not to run away from things. When you run away from things, they chase you. When you stop, you have the control, isn't it? So, this is actually the nature of life. And through a bit of mindfulness, meditation, being able to relax, we develop our capacity to deal with things, and it is empowering. It has that power to, So, Buddhism has actually a long history of meditation. The Buddha, he meditated for 6 years. And in his meditation, he was able to not only to deal with his own suffering, but he actually became fully enlightened to help others as well, which is amazing, isn't it? So, in the modern world today, when the technology and the science, everything is, at the peak, but the human suffering gets more and more bigger and bigger. So that's why we need to find a way to deal with these things. And it's possible. And it's amazing. I mean, when you really think of our lives, isn't that amazing? Buddha says there are 4 amazing things in the world. Being born as human. Isn't that amazing? We are human beings. You can ascribe some value to animal life, but can you assign any value to the human life? It's priceless, isn't it? These 3 kilos that we carry around, the world. Can you actually say this is the value of your brain? No, it's invaluable. So, human life is so precious. And what is also precious is our sense faculties working. Our visual, we can see, we can hear, we can smell, we can taste, we can walk. And, all our sense faculties working. That's very precious. And we are able to actually think. So there are a lot of rare things if we really understand it and make the most of it. That's what actually mindfulness is about. Okay? So I'm going to actually, keep it to the time. So, basically these sessions give you a bit of training, there are about 40 different techniques of meditation. We're going to sort of try out different techniques and, see if we could actually develop, practice. But I want you to do something. So when you are even not meditating, just try to actually bring the attention, when your mind goes, like, let's say you are walking, try to actually walk mindfully. Feel your feet on the ground. So, when I walk from my home to the station, I kind of keep tracking, like how many times my mind wanders. I sort of make an effort to bring it back every time. Sort of relaxes, Otherwise, we are thinking 100 different things, You actually wake up in the morning and you're thinking of the day, what you have to do in the office or whatever. Yeah? You go to the shower and you are actually, while you're taking the shower, you are in a meeting, you are talking to people, arguing, and, feeling the water on body, are you? So, this is how busy we are. But when we actually learn to bring the mind back, the mind becomes an amazing tool. You'll be amazed how restful, relaxed life is. And even in your sleep, throughout the day our minds think. Throughout the night, what happens? We dream. Same thing. Same thing. We don't get enough sleep. If you're actually getting enough sleep, you shouldn't be dreaming. Some people daydreaming. Dream is not actually good sleep. So when you get into a deep sleep, even if you actually sleep 5 minutes undisturbed, not dreaming but sleeping, that is really relaxing. So these techniques can really help you develop the ability to rest, relax, and more happy. And that is really very important. Okay, I didn't sort of talk too much. It's like, please, feel free to ask questions. So if you don't ask, I will ask you the question.
Well, ask about the meditation, you mean?
Sorry?
I'll ask questions about meditation.
Yeah, please.
Okay, right.
Meditation or anything else.
And anything else, yeah?
Meditation is so much connected to our lives, isn't it? It's not, it's actually, you could call it meditation, you could call it actually connection. Relation. How do you relate to your emotions, your, family, your, loved ones and society, blah, blah. Oh, this is all about that, isn't it? So, it's not sort of, a high-flown philosophy of some sort.
Yeah.
It's actually real life, isn't it?
I think it's real as you want it to be, though.
Sorry?
It's as real as you want it to be.
It's where you want to be.
Well, I'm saying it's as real as you want to be. It's on your mind.
That's right. The mind.
Yeah.
Mind matters most, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, so I mean, whatever training, self-training you get in meditation, you can see that a transformative results in other lives. You can see you are more relaxed, less stress, and you relate to people much better. Yeah, and you find like it has the changing aspects, a lot of changing aspects to it. And even if you study, you see actually your mind is more focused, concentrated, and you work, your quality of work improves, and like that. So there are many benefits to it. So, but don't be ever put off by anything, like, I can't sit, I can't, do this.
Even if you're the most fidgety person.
Sorry?
Even if you're the most fidgety person, twiddle your thumbs.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Come on. Ask some questions.
Can I ask you a personal question? I don't know if it's too personal as such.
You can take. I can take anything short of physical attacks.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Because I know when you meditate, okay, if you had like out of body experiences, like open up your third eye and stuff like that, and if you have, okay, what experience have you had with it? Like, if you had something that's personal. That's,
something
like,
personal.
Inner.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's right. So I'll tell you actually how I started with meditation, because I was studying a lot of stress in America in a very big Cornell University. It's an Ivy League school, very competitive. America. So it's a lot of stress, yeah? So some students even wrote on the walls, academics killed by degrees, by giving degrees, So basically, I could feel a lot of stress. I had to do a job and teaching and studying at the same time and blah, blah, blah. So end of semesters, sometimes, there are 20,000-30,000 students in the university. And there's a suspension bridge. Sometimes some children, some kids, they go and, jump off. So, and sadly, they end their lives. And because they get bad grades, after paying $20,000-$30,000, you can't show bad grades to your parents. So, and I also personally felt a lot of stress. And then I was living with some of my American friends, and they used to go to this beautiful place in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, called VMC, Vipassana Meditation Center. So we go for a weekend, sort of. I used to sit. A lot of people, thousands of people, sit and meditate, and I wasn't ready for it. Honest with you, I said, I go for good food, as students, and then sit right at the back and sort of, slip out, But I saw actually, like, sitting, everybody is in the center is supposed to sit at least 3 times a day. So I had to actually sit and, 5 minutes, I can't concentrate, my mind is somewhere, and I can't sit, pins and needles everywhere, So, but somehow every year I was going back and back again, because it was such a peaceful, really nice place. And people were amazing, helping each other, and lovely. So there was something that, it pulled me into the center over and over again. So over, 7 years where I was studying for my PhD, which people call permanent head damage. PhD means. So, and then, so basically, I found that really helpful for concentration, for my studies, and make, really a lot of peace. And then I could see a lot of changes in the way I think, because you have, emotionally, I used to have a very easily get upset and angry and, blah, blah, blah. So I could see myself, changing a lot. So then I kept on practicing. So that's where I really, started some meditation. So personally, I have actually gained a lot, from that. Now, recently I'm with the MOD, Ministry of Defense. So I have been teaching meditation to soldiers, because they're really tough people. Soldiers are, but physically they are tough, but not necessarily mentally. Sometimes people break down so easily. So I keep challenging them, what is more important, the physical fitness or the mental fitness? So the mental fitness is also really important, isn't it? So anyway, so that is kind of my little, personal experience. Any questions? Quiet, you are an all enlightened group, So shall we do another technique then? Shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant, excellent. I said, no. I thought you say, oh no, not meditation. So this is actually another really nice little technique. Again, we start with a little, relaxation. Relaxing the body and mind. Okay. We will.
Are we to concentrate on breathing in and breathing it out?
Well, actually, this I will give you the precise instructions later, because what you really do is you keep your mind on the general breathing to start with, and slowly we can actually concentrate on one point. Yeah, the first touch of the breath. But this one is not actually of that. It is it's a different technique. Okay, so let's actually start with a composed posture again, if you can, and so basically keep your gaze lowered again, and listen to this sound, and try to sort of relax. Just try to drop into the full silence. So both body and mind are silent and silently aware. So when you feel silence and relaxation in the body and in the mind, you are sort of you would really like to share that silence, peace with others as well. So let's actually first of all listen to our own heart. As you breathe in and out, just try to actually feel your heart. Our heart working very hard throughout the day and night with even difficult emotions. Let's actually wish well for our heart and acknowledge, how hard it is working, and be very compassionate, loving thought towards your heart. And you could actually imagine a beacon of light in your heart. Expanding it throughout the body, spreading every pore of your body some light. And you fill the whole body with that joy, that peace, the silence throughout the body. You can feel nothing but peace, silence, joy. When you feel actually joy within yourself, you feel like sharing it with others. May I share my joy with you, with everyone in this room, with the warmest wish, may you be well and happy. Everyone loves to be happy. We could actually expand our wish to everyone in this house. May all beings, everyone in this house, may they be well and happy. We could spread that warmth, loving thought to even the outside of this home, to this area of the town. May everybody in this town, may they be well, happy and find peace. We could spread that loving thought even beyond this town to London, the greater London area, and this country. May all beings in this country, may they all be well and happy. Everyone loves to be happy, peaceful. Whoever they may be, wherever they may be, whatever they may be doing on this Sunday, afternoon. May all beings in this country and beyond, those who are living to my right, to my left, in front of me, behind me, above and below, in all directions, those who can be seen, cannot be seen, born and yet to be born, whoever they may be, those who live near and far away, in this world, even beyond this country, in other parts of the world, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Whoever they may be, wherever they may be, whatever they may be doing. Especially those who are having a tough day today, in hospital beds, war zones, prisons, etc., etc. May they all find peace, harmony, joy, and happiness. Okay, so that's a little technique to open your heart. You know, sometimes our heart is too closed, isn't it? Just too closed, and we need to wish well, especially for oneself, for yourself. It's so important that you wish well for yourself, you know, and that can actually develop your emotional well-being. Sometimes we always think about others, but not, what about yourself? It is important to wish well for yourself and wish well for others. By wishing well for others, we are expanding our heart, and actually, you know, it's very powerful. It's really powerful. And in this world, if everybody wishes well for others, just imagine what the world will be like, isn't it? So it's really important to share peace with others and have that, you know, attitude to wishing well. And amazing things can happen in your life when you're doing that. I mean, this is not superstitious thinking. This is real stuff. So our world today is so much about, you know, focusing on I, me, my, mine. Even Donald Trump said, you know, me, America first. What it means is America becomes last for others when you say, isn't it? When you really think of that, how limiting it is when you say that. when you think like that, you are limiting yourself and you're limiting the world. This is an amazing place if you understand that and if we know how to make the best use of that. Yeah? Do you agree? No? You don't have to. So, anyway, thank you so much for being here. And these sessions will actually continue. So I'd like you to actually, not make a judgment on one day and say, look, it's good, but I can't do it. Make an effort, okay? Make an effort. So a lot of things can happen, and with that canny attitude, isn't it? So thank you, Jay, for all the hard work you've done. Amazing. Yeah?
Give him a clap.
Yeah.
I'm only doing my bit for everybody.
No, that's a lot of bits, That's really good because it's just helping anybody. Because that is really, really good. So let's make it a success together collectively. See what happens after 8 sessions. Yes?
It's gone to 8 sessions, is it?
8 sessions, minimum.
Only for the day, yeah?
No. Hey, you can't,
Is that a lucky number, is it?
8 is a lucky number now. So, continuously, because after 8 days, don't worry, I'll give you a certificate even from the Ministry of Defense, okay? You have taken part, and then everybody will be after you to share that with you, yeah? So this is a leaflet on mindfulness. So if you want to take a copy, yeah. Do we have enough? I think we do.
Is it next
Yes, I
month?
can have a separate.
Yeah, every last Sunday of the month. But I would like you to actually, on a daily basis, do me a favor. At least 5 minutes remember about this. When you come back next time, you have to report to me how long you did your silence meditation. It doesn't necessarily have to be sitting down. It could be walking. You go for a walk, but bring the mind back. So every day, at least 5 to 10 minutes. 10 would be fantastic. You do something. Even washing dishes. You wash dishes and you are fully with it. Not thinking about other things. When you are washing dishes, just wash dishes. For washing dishes, or cleaning, hoovering, whatever. You paid a lot of attention to it and, made the deliberate, purposeful effort to do it. Okay?
Mums want me to, though, clean.
Sorry?
My mums want me to clean the dishes. What about that?
That's right. So you get an added bonus. That's great. So she has already given you the task. Excellent. All what you have to do is do it mindfully. Okay? Mindful doing it. Even if you sit down and eat, for heaven's sake, taste your food. Huh? Isn't it? Isn't it important? See, part of the reasons why, there's obesity and a lot of things, and is because we are not mindful, isn't it? So, it can really transform lives. Yes. Okay. So, thank you again. Any last question, anything you would like to ask finally, please?
So this place,
Yeah.
is this place like open? Is it like a public?
Yeah. This is a public. This is temple, but Buddhist temple, open for anyone.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So you have opening hours 9 to 5
We're
something.
open from 7 to 10.
Okay, 7 to
But
10.
if door is closed, just press the bell.
Yeah.
There'll be somebody. Generally, there's somebody here.
What can you do here?
Oh, there are actually a lot of things happening. There are kind of people come to meditations, people come to religious, performances, offerings, etc., etc. So there are some programs. You have some programs, don't you?
I'll email you.
Yeah. So a lot of things are happening. I think all these Buddhist monasteries are places for people to, it's a community center-like place. Yeah.
I can't believe I've never heard of it. I live literally.
Is it really? Oh, isn't that funny?
Is it the first time that you came across one of our leaflets?
Yeah, the first. I've lived in the flats around the corner for nearly 4 years, and I've never. I walked down past this road as well all the time, and I never knew that this existed.
Yes,
It's been up for 2 years, isn't it? Though? It's been open over 2 years. This place.
It's about 3 years, isn't
3
it?
years, is
3
it?
years.
Oh, okay, I missed 1 year out then.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of activities, and almost every month there is a kind of day, kind of spiritual day. People come here observing silence and retreat-like thing.
Do you have that written down somewhere though, like we can all read it or something, so we can all know about it?
Oh yeah, there's a website, isn't it? Don't you
It's not
have?
yet It's not yet up.
Okay, so.
So I was saying, because I can't always see like Sri Lankan writing, so I don't obviously speak or read Sri Lankan.
No, Sri Lanka's
Well,
are pretty
maybe
good.
not
Sri Lanka has been under British rule for so long. We take pride in speaking, English, blah blah blah. But lots of them. I mean, these ladies are very good. They speak English. Don't worry. And probably you will end up learning Sinhala anyway. Especially when you are tasting the Sri Lankan food. Anyway, so okay, let's go down and have a cup of tea. Yeah. Thank you so much, and Venerable Tapasi and Jay and everybody who helped supported these sessions. Big thank you to all of you. But we will keep building on this and do more. Okay.
We owe a big thank you for Dr. Sunil as well. Among all his work, he has been kind enough to motivate a few of us to have organize this event and do good for the community. So thank you very much.
Should we give you a hand in this chaos?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. Thank
It's
you.
tradition, you got to clap.
Yeah. So you want one more copy? Yeah. Okay. I mean, there is plenty of literature on mindfulness for health. The Oxford Mindfulness Center. There are almost every university has some department of mindfulness. Oxford, Cambridge, etc., Bangor, UCL, all these universities. So there's a lot of research stuff, and there are CDs with some practices and so on. I'll give you more literature as we go along. Okay? All right. Let's go down and have a cup of tea. Okay. Thank you.
There's like